Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be discussing one of the current issues that we're facing right now, amidst this pandemic, amidst this crisis that we're encountering, amidst this recession. Is it a good time to sell my property now? Or is it wise to sell my property now? Generally, I would say not to sell right now because buyers, as you would know, would tend to take advantage of the situation. And I have clients who really want to take advantage of people who are trying to sell their properties because they need money, or what we call fire sale. Either they can't make their payments anymore because they either lost their job, okay, or if they're a freelancer, there's not much work going around, or if they're entrepreneurs or if they're businessmen, they can't operate the same way that they did before the pandemic. Or even if we have this GCQ right now, they can't still operate at 100% the way they did before. So revenues are not coming in, profits are taking a hit, so they're now contemplating of letting go of some of these properties. And the problem lies when you don't have an emergency fund to cover for a rainy day such as this. And this is very key when it comes to personal finance, and unfortunately it's one of our biggest problems in our society today. Personal finance is not being taught in schools, as part of our education curriculum. It's not part of that, so we have to learn it the hard way when we're working, when we're doing our business already. That's a time that we try to save our money and learn from our mistakes. Or if you're lucky, if you have parents, if you have a culture, especially for my Filipino Chinese friends, they have this culture of being taught how to save, how to invest money, how to minimize your expenses, and try to augment your income every now and then you're one of the lucky few. But majority of the Philippine population is not really financially literate. So it's a sad truth, and a lot of our fellow Filipinos, especially the ones working abroad, are taking a hit right now. Some of them have lost their jobs, and I have received some messages from friends and from people I don't know, asking how can they sell their property because they're afraid that they might lose whatever it is that they already paid. I mean, the investment, diba? Or if they already have the property right now, if they already finance it through the bank, and let's say they don't have a tenant yet, they can't find a tenant, they're paying the monthly amortization, and there's no job, there's no income coming in. How are you supposed to pay that monthly payments, right? So after a period of time, the bank or the developer might be forced to forfeit or foreclose your property. And when it happens, you're gonna take a big loss. So it's really a sticky situation right now. So I would really advise, before you get into any type of investment, you have to make sure that you're really financially ready for it, especially if it's property where it's a long-term commitment. You're talking about millions of pesos in terms of investment. For most of us, it could be our life savings, right? So you really have to be sure that before you get into it, you have emergency funds to cover for a rainy day. Typically, from the mentors that I look up to, like Randall Chongson, he would typically say that you have to save at least 6 months of your monthly income, your monthly salary, as emergency funds. But looking at the pandemic right now, we're already on our 3rd month, right? And there's no signs of any speedy recovery coming in anytime soon. So that 6-month emergency fund, okay, might not be enough. So that's a sad part about the state of the financial literacy in the country. And if you're in that situation where you're already eating up your emergency funds, or worse, you don't have emergency funds anymore and there's no money coming in, what do you do? Okay, do you sell your property? That would be your last recourse, I would say. I would recommend, if you can find a way to earn income right now to cover the monthly payments, do it. Okay, there's plenty of ways to do it. Like online, I see a lot of my friends selling different types of things like food. Okay, some are even selling different types of items, you know, just to augment their income. You know, just try it out first. I mean, try to sell. But on the other side, if you can't do that, and even if the income that you get from that is not enough, maybe try to look out for relatives or friends who might be able to lend you some money for the meantime, okay, to cover these expenses while you try to keep yourself afloat. Okay, so if you can do that, do it. Okay, it's better than selling the property right now, because there will be buyers who are looking for properties, and it could be your property, but bear in mind that they won't be offering the market value for it. Okay, so before, let's say your property is worth 5 million before the pandemic, they might offer you maybe 3.5 million or 4 million for it. They won't be offering, most of the offers that you'll be getting is like that. But there's exceptions to that. Okay, I'm not saying that all properties will be like that, but there's an exception to the rule. If your property is, you know, in a very prime location and there's a lot of demand for it, especially for foreign investors to come in, then you might be still able to sell it at the market value prior to, you know, the COVID lockdown. Okay, so this is basing from my own personal experience, because I have this property in BGC, and prior to the lockdown, I've been receiving offers from some of my friends who are brokers, licensed brokers, and they have particular clients or buyers willing to purchase my property for 15 million. Okay, so I checked quite recently, because I was just curious how would my unit fare right now during this crisis. So I asked my friends again, okay, can you please ask if your client is still interested to buy my property at 15 million? They said yes, they are still interested. And some of them, you know, I've been seeing in some of the groups and the postings online that it's still selling. You know, some people are still looking for it at that price. Okay, so it could be an exception, but generally, I would say most of the properties, or most of the offers rather, that you'll be getting will be definitely below market. Okay, there would be some. If you read this article, you know, going around in social media about this particular Chinese investor who's looking to buy even more properties now, because he's very smart actually, because a lot of people will be selling below market because they need the money, or they want to recover a portion of their investment, right? So there will be a lot of offers like that. Your approach to selling your property could be done in two ways. Okay, so it's different if it's pre-selling. Okay, if your property is still under construction, you don't have the keys yet, it's not yet turned over to you, so you might want to consider to talk to your agent. Okay, the person who sold the property to you. Okay, you bought it pre-selling. The first thing that you should do is talk to your agent. Okay, I'm having problems with my unit, I can't pay it anymore, the monthly amortization, I'm afraid that the developer might forfeit my payments. Okay, so you consult with your agent, because he's the best person to help you right now, in the sense, because especially if he's still connected with he or she is still connected with the developer, because he or she might have some clients who are willing to take on your investment. But bear in mind that you won't be able to sell it at a very high margin. You might even be forced to just get break even on it, because of course the one who will be willing to buy it from you will say that, okay, you need the money, okay, I'm willing to buy it from you, I just want I'll just return whatever it is that you paid. At least you don't lose money. Okay, be ready for that. Okay, so there could be a strategy. Let's say, for example, you bought the property about 3 years ago. You bought it for, let's say, 4 million, and before the pandemic, the market value is 6 million already. Okay, so your broker, your agent, might be able to find, someone who's willing to purchase that property from you at a rate of 5 million. Okay, so you still earn 1 million if you're able to sell it at 5, right, from 4 million. Okay, so it's still not bad, but that would be the best case at this point in time. Okay, but be prepared to to find potential offers or buyers who will offer you just what you paid for the property, and that would be your last recourse, I would say. Better none not being able to retrieve anything, especially if you only paid less than 2 years. You're not yet covered by the full protection of the Maceda law. Okay, so you may want to take a look at that aspect as well. Okay, so please bear that in mind, that be ready for offers that will be tantamount or equal to what you only paid. Okay, so it varies from one developer to another. The costs of transferring the property to the new buyer would be different from one developer to another. The taxes might be different. They have different approaches as well. Some will charge you capital gains tax, some will not. Some will charge the documentary stamp tax, transfer tax. Find out what are the possible charges so that you know how to market your property. You know what to tell your broker, how much are you willing to sell it, so that you account for each expense that will be related to the transfer of the property. Should you be able to find a willing buyer who will take that property from you and to continue the payments to the developer. Okay, so that's one of the ways. Try to talk to your agent who sold you that property, especially if he or she is connected to the developer, and don't stop there. Okay, my bonus tip is to talk to different agents. Okay, different agents working for the same developer. Why? Because they're offering the same product. Okay, especially if the project has not been sold out yet, okay, there's still inventory and where you bought, then it could be an advantage for you, because they might have existing clients looking to spot a good deal. So talk to them, find out if they have buyers who will be willing to take over your investment and return whatever it is that you paid. And even if you do it well, then you might even get a profit from it. Okay, better than not getting anything in return. Okay, or getting a lot of penalties wherein you only get half, or worse, none at all. Okay, because it could happen. I mean, it could really happen. Talk to as many agents, brokers who are focusing or who are working for that developer. Now, what if your property is already RFO, okay, ready for occupancy, you have the keys already and you're paying the bank? This time, instead of talking to your agent who's still connected with the developer, your best course of action is to talk to brokers who are focusing on the secondary market. Because there's a difference between in-house sellers, focusing in the real estate developer, the products of the real estate developer, to those who are focusing on the secondary market, because that's an entirely different thing. Okay, in the secondary market, you're going to be talking to brokers who specialize in the resale of properties. Try to talk to as many real estate brokers out there. Okay, you don't have to talk to just one broker. Okay, if you can find as many reputable, licensed real estate brokers, it's better, because more people will be marketing your property and you have a better chance of you finding the right deal, okay, or the best offer for your property. Okay, another thing that you can do in both instances, either pre-selling or if your property is RFO already, if you hold the property already, what you can do is try to sell it online. Okay, no one's stopping you from posting it on Facebook and social media, going to different sites such as Lamudi. Okay, try to post your property, because even if you're not a licensed broker or not a accredited salesperson under a broker, okay, as an owner of the property, you have a right to sell your property on your own and not hire the services of a broker. Of course, it would be prudent to do that, but you can do it as well. So if you have a good network, if you have friends, business partners, colleagues, relatives who might be, in a better position to take on the investment from you, then approach them first. Okay, talk to them. Okay, you can just hire a broker later on if you need help with the transfer of the property, but finding the potential buyer, you can do it on your own. But my suggestion for you is to, number one, try to market it on your own, and also at the same time simultaneously talk to in-house agents and brokers to help you market your property. Okay, don't just sit there and wait for someone to approach you and offer, put it out there, right? So instead of panicking, thinking about it, being depressed, I suggest you take action now, especially if you're in a precarious position where you can't afford to make the payments anymore, or that in a few months you'll be approaching that situation. Okay, so better prepare for it now. Okay, try to find out what is the market value, check online, call brokers, talk to your previous agent, the one who sold you the property, and market it yourself. Okay, so that's my advice to you if you want to be able to get the most out of your investment. So guys, thank you so much for listening. If you like the video, please press the like button below. Also, please don't forget to subscribe. Click it now. Click the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified of future videos, click on the bell icon as well. Okay, so with that, thank you so much for listening. I wish you all the best. I hope for those of you who are having trouble now financially, I pray that you're able to overcome this and find a suitable solution or a buyer who will take on your property at a profit, at a good deal. Okay, I hope that you're able to dispose it well without much of a hassle. I really pray for that. With this, guys, thank you so much, and let's all grow wealthy together. Goodbye.